I'm only 19, but I'm here to make cream. Chillin' with my team. Chillin' with my team.
On what happens
I just
to the
broke
mind
my spleen and now I'm going to the fucking.
stimulation in the outside
I'm going
world
to the
for an
city,
extended
yeah.
period of time. And
I'm just smoking cigarette,
unsurprisingly, it
guys,
is
on
so
camera.
psychologically
Guys
damaging
on camera.
to be completely alone and isolated like Nasubi was. And Vsauce only did like a few days.
Vsauce?
Nasubi did over a year, 15 months total.
なんと
書いていると
Yo, what, Brandon? What about Pontiac Caesar? What about Pontiac Caesar?
The old ones.
I know that. Well, there's only old ones.
Pontiac GTO.
気分フードケニファさんのファイバーゼリー12個入りでございます。
The lowriders too, right?
Pontiac's by Chevy.
This was Nasubi's first big win.
Pontiac
a fat
Firebird.
Dubsky.
My Papa
He was
used to have
able
one.
to secure 12
Oh, wait,
ounces
he did
of
get a
fiber
Firebird.
Papa had
jelly.
this one.
I don't know what the fuck fiber jelly is. I've never heard of it in my life. That sounds like a made-up substance in the movie Snowpiercer, but
Well, this is
it
one
was
from the
huge for
movie, but
Nasubi
Papa
because
had
it's
the
his
same
first
one.
bit of food since this started,
Yeah,
so he
golden
was extremely
black.
hungry and was able to get some
But
nutrients. This wasn't the
My
first
first
thing he
car is
applied
one
for
with
though.
Pontiac.
The first sweepstakes he was entering
Look at
were
it.
for clothing items. He wanted to cover up, obviously, because being naked is going to be cold, uncomfortable,
And he
especially
has a big
if
old
it's being
Firebird on
filmed.
the hood.
So he had applied
What's
for an
yours?
apron first, but he didn't.
That's what Papa's look like?
やったまた何か
Might
当
have
た
been
った
red.
Yo, go smoke this cigarette, bro. Fast.
あ、はい、わかりました。
Oh, that's all.
はい。
How do you assemble this?
プロテインか
Well, you just twist up the cigarette. I can show you.
Obviously, since Nasubi
Doesn't
was
take very
trapped in
long.
isolation, cut off from the rest of the world, he cherished every single knock at that door. It was the only bit of human interaction he gets. So he'd get excited, and of course, he's expecting to win something since why else would someone be knocking at the door? So he gets really hyped up, like, hey, finally something came that's gonna help me get closer to completing this challenge, or maybe it's food and I'm starving. But that wasn't always the case. Like in these two clips here, sometimes
wanna
it
see
was
what color
just
it was.
fucking cruel, where a postman knocked on his door just to let him know that he needs to put his name on the mailbox or some shit, and then also someone put the wrong address for a ramen delivery, so he couldn't even have the ramen after smelling it. It was just really sad to see.
G4.
It would be cool to sound first.
米だ
Pontiac.
ナス米
Yeah, yeah, I can order one.
Finally, it seems fortune's looking up for Nasubi here. He's able to secure 5 kilograms of rice. But then things get heartbreaking when he realizes he has no way of cooking the rice.
Damn, I was
because he
looking
needs
at
to
this
win
car
a
first.
pot from a sweepstakes in order to use it.
That's
So he
crazy.
just has 5
$90,000
kilograms
Chevy
of rice
Malibu.
that he can't cook.
That shit
It's
was
fucking
Who has
terrible.
one?
Yeah, you know, like,
Who has
it's a
that?
treasure that you
No,
can't
yeah.
have. So he gets
Yeah,
desperate
his
and
mom
he starts
does
resorting
normal
to
stuff.
eating the rice raw.
Transmission. He was like, Brandon, can you fix my transmission on my mom's?
生米をかじる。
お願いします。おかゆにでもちゃんとなってください。申し訳ないですけどね。ちょっとこれは失敗じゃないですか。待って。ちょっと待ってよこれ。
This one. Pontiac G6.
実験成功
Buy like a G6.
Oh, that's what it is.
No. G6 fighter pilot.
Awaken to a
Or,
world of
fighter
wonder
jet.
in Final Fantasy XIV Online. Take it easy and play your way. Whether it's fishing, crafting, or
Okay,
taking
scary,
on
bro.
quests. Play solo.
Bro, when I got
Team
my
up with
G,
your
bro, I'm about
friends.
to get crying, bro.
Who no?
What?
Arlo?
Final
Yeah.
Fantasy
Look at that, bro.
XIV Online.
This muscle,
Play
bro.
free today.
I would have made this car so tough by now. Imagine I raised the ass straight pipe that shit.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working
No,
app
this made me
without
sad,
knowing how to
too.
code. This is Base 44. This is the first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder, and you wouldn't believe the kind of apps that people are creating. Smart nutrition apps, inventory trackers, onboarding tools, you name it. And
Bro,
if
that's
anyone
sad,
is
bro.
stopping me from making the app as
Like, this shit
idea,
look beautiful
why not
still.
build an app that gives gives me endless abilities. So let's make it. Pro tip, I draft the full app spec in ChatGPT.
And then bro, it shows every
directly in
core.
base 44. It gives me super detailed structure.
Oh, it's
And
fresh
here it is, everything I laid out in detail as it goes. This is pretty awesome, but I want to make it playful. So I'm going to add a swipe left and swipe right interface. The same usability we all know. Now I'm going to add one more feature. So every idea that I favorite will turn into a kickoff prompt to start building the app itself. And that's it. Just come up with your idea,
that
any
old
idea,
school clip.
and Base 44 will do the rest.
Rob
So go to
Illigan.
Base 44,
Robert
create
Illigan.
apps with your
Robert
name.
Illigan. You know Robert Illigan?
He was like a grade or two above us.
I think he was a senior when we were freshmen.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Unable to continue
Or
eating the
maybe
rice
when we were
raw,
sophomores.
Nasubi knew
I
he
feel
needed
like
to
he was
find
like-
some way to cook it, so
was
he
like an
went
Asian dude, he
full
was like
fucking Jimmy
hilarious.
Neutron.
He was,
here.
yeah, like to me, he
He
had
hatched an
reservoir on the
idea
wall.
to
These
put the
zebra
rice
Nike
into
SB
one of the jelly fiber
dunks.
containers,
He uses
and
drippy
he
as
put
fuck,
hot water in it, left it out overnight, hoping to make it somewhat cooked. As you can see in the clip, he said even if it's gruel, just make it into something. It didn't work at all. So he came up with another plan
You wanna see
to
what I
put it in the
crafted?
fiber jelly container,
Okay.
put it in the hot water, and set it next to the gas burner. So that way it would kind of cook it by
What are you saying,
proxy.
bro?
And this
Well, I
worked.
think
He was
Papa
able to
has
cook the rice, and now he had an
pretty
efficient
well
way of actually eating
figured
that
out.
rice that he won.
自転車に乗ってご飯が食える
He has a rolling machine.
He was a Roman.
いや場所だな僕
He's
は
definitely.
ね
No, I wouldn't use his stuff. I would just
cigarettes.
Slowly but surely, Nasubi
I
was
like to get
chipping
my own
away at
stuff
that
as
million yen goal, winning more and more prizes, such as a bicycle, which on the surface seems
You just
pretty
massage
useless
it
since
and
he
it
couldn't
comes
take it outside, but he turned it into a stationary bike, and I'm sure that was like a good way of
Get your
stimulating him, because what the fuck else are you
Very
gonna do?
smart.
So he'd eat
Very
his
smart.
watery rice while pedaling on the bicycle, and he started gathering more and more winnings. It started to look like my fucking dorm room from college, just a bicycle and all kinds of miscellaneous shit all over the place.
来ましたね見事にいやいややってみるもんですね
Yeah.
ほら
お米の炊き方98年3月版ニューバージョンです
He did chewing. I grew up with him doing chewing tobacco all the time.
も
My mom would be like, he did chewing tobacco when I was a
He
kid.
also
He spit it in the
upgraded
cup, would be the brown dirty
operation
cup.
by using a pin and a
Then he
can
got a
of
box my
sake.
base, and then he
He
got
was
this
able to
crazy.
create
Did he
a
act
pretty
the same as he was
efficient
now?
cooking apparatus. So he was able to
Probably.
make
Probably.
rice more
Probably,
efficiently.
well,
He was even
similar,
able to
but
cook
I
spaghetti
was
now.
younger, so it's hard to
So
get one
he
with
was
it.
really like
But,
climbing
like
up
a
the
little
top tree
different.
here by just
Was
being
it?
an absolute fucking genius.
Yeah, less
It's also worth
intellectual
noting
wisdom,
some of the
I
more
think.
useless things he won, like
He's
the
filling that
bicycle,
void.
wasn't entirely
Yeah,
worthless
yeah,
because
yeah.
that helped increase
Yeah,
the
hit
value
the
of his
borders,
winnings,
it's very
bringing him
good.
closer to that million yen mark. So even if he couldn't get a ton of usage out of it directly, just having it in the room was beneficial because it gets him closer to being done with the challenge.
But I don't know, Mark's more goofy, but it's because his leg is very good.
ちょっと厳しい
I
ね
had at one point.
こんなじゃあねちょっとね
Now, it's been about 2 months in this clip here, and according to Atrocity Guide, Nasubi submitted 5,748 sweepstakes entries in the first month. So you can imagine that he's right around that 11,000, 12,000 sweepstake entry ballpark, and he is just now winning his first article of clothing, which are used panties from someone named Hitomi-chan.
Well, he's doing
I
this
want to
song.
say I had no idea the used panty market spanned this far back in time. This is 1998. I thought soiled panties, used socks, and bath water were
That
things
shit like
women
a
started
bad
selling
kid,
within the
bro.
last decade to take advantage of like internet sales. I had no idea that this was a popular market all the way back into the 90s. But anyway, Nasubi wins these panties. It's his only article of clothing he's won so far, but they don't fit, unfortunately.
名前つけてあげないとねかわいそうだねナスビのお友達でヴィーナスちゃんと
I found this one to be extraordinarily sad, so still around 2 months now. He's had no contact with any human beings aside from the delivery guy just dropping off his winnings. He wins a stuffed seal which he names Binasu and takes him for a walk. It's his only source of companionship. That shit just breaks my heart to see. I'm not gonna lie.
貧乏芸人の日常生活においてステーキの4文字なんて想像だにしなかった
肉をボールペンに刺して炙り始めた5分後
美味しそう
ナスビにとって最高級の食べ物ステーキを今まさに食べようとする瞬
This is his first time winning a direct source of protein. Up until this point, his diet was mainly just the rice and like spaghetti. So he'd be getting trace amounts of protein, but never something like steak. His macros had to be so fucked from this, but he finally gets steak, and he cooks it by using a ballpoint pen to cook it over the direct flame, and he gets to eat it and is super happy about it. I'd also like to highlight something in that note he wrote. He said, in the life of a poor comedian, he's only used the word steak in his imagination. I think this is big because prior to this challenge, Nasubi wasn't a popular comedian in Japan. He wasn't well off or anything like that. This was his big break, which is why he was so excited to be part of this show. And then he gets tortured. It's so fucking cruel. Like, you can't help but feel absolutely horrible for this guy.
専用コントローラー好き。
運転手はナスビ、車掌はヴィナスってな風に。
加熱しないで食べるつもりだ。
What?
Very good. I was just trying to get the shadow right.
全然いける。美味しい美味しい。すべてヴィーナス君のおかげだ。
He wins a PlayStation game as well as a special controller for it, but he doesn't have a PlayStation or a TV to play it on. He then also wins raw pork and raw crab and eats it raw because he didn't really have an efficient way of cooking those. And you can see that he talks a lot to the stuffed seal. This is very much like a Castaway situation with Wilson. When you're deprived of human contact for as long as Nasubi has been, you start to try and find ways of being social. Humans are social creatures by nature, which is why it's so torturous to be deprived of that. It's fucking brutal. It's been right around 3 months by this point, and he is not even halfway done to the million yen goal.
Million yen's like 100K.
3ヶ月ぶりの掃除スタート。
まあ1は打つのか。ラップするよこれで。
そのものとは。
歯ブラシと歯磨きのセットです。
He's able to win a vacuum cleaner, which enables him to clean the room for the first time in 3 months, and then wins a TV, which would have been great because he'd finally have some source of entertainment, but unfortunately, since there was no antenna, it was useless because it would only play static. And he still didn't have a PlayStation to play the PlayStation game that he won, so the TV was just a source of fucking white noise, I suppose. And then he finally gets something really, really useful, which is a toothbrush and toothpaste, which lets him brush his teeth for the first time in 3 months.
白衣を着た人現る。
健康チェックに来たわけですか。
全く問題ありません。ナスビさんは健康であると認めます。
This is one component that I always see left out for all of the publications or videos that talk about the horror of the Nasubi story. They actually had a doctor come in and check up on him. The staff wanted to make sure that he wasn't on the brink of death or that he hadn't contracted any serious disease or anything. So they had a doctor come in, take his vitals, also did a blood and urine test, or so they claim, and then gave him a clean bill of health. Now, assuming that that's all legitimate and not just, theatrics for the television program, I would still say this doesn't take into account the actual torture this man is enduring. Even if his vitals are okay, he doesn't have a disease or any, big alarming health concerns. This is a man that has been deprived of sunlight, socialization, entertainment, and just basic human needs for 3 months by this point. So even if all the blood work and all of that is within normal limits, this is a man who is still very much not okay.
Alright, we get it,
and to try and make it seem like, no, everything's great, Nasubi's happy, and this is a totally fine by the books thing, look, the doctor even says so, is it?
命の源お米が米袋の底に溜まってる程度になってしまってる。
Still staying up late gaming solo? With Hako AI, get the ultimate companion for your playtime.
I noticed that the enemy jungle Rammus.
今日で最後か。これは最後のお米です。はい、ドッグフードです。
すると。
まずい。
ドッグフードです。
Oh my
Somehow, the story keeps getting more tragic. The rice that he won on the 20th day was finally running out, and he was unable to win any more during this time, so he resorted to eating dog food. And dog food became the primary thing that he was eating. It was like his main diet. So he was surviving off dog food. And another thing that I've seen brought up a few times that I also question is the legitimacy of like what shows up, because it would have been very easy for producers to intercept things that Nasubi had won if they were too helpful. Like, I find it very odd that the only thing Nasubi won in terms of clothing throughout all 15 months was a pair of panties. That seems so unrealistic. I really think there may have been foul play, and this is just a conspiracy, where the producers intercepted clothes, and I think that didn't win. Sent it too much in my mind. Something that actually happened to a real human being. Luckily, he was able to win rice 3 months later. He won 10 kilograms of rice about 3-ish months after mainly surviving off dog food, as well as a couple of other foods that he'd win here and there. But dog food for a while was like his primary source of nutrition. And then he finally gets rice again. Now, it's been about 6 months-ish, and he is finally halfway to the goal. In 6 months, he reaches the halfway point. According to Atrocity Guide, he has submitted 38,000 entries by this point. 38,000 sweepstakes entries in 6 months, and he is only halfway to the goal. Just when you thought it couldn't get more fucked up. So what happened here is this show was so popular, people eventually found out where Nasubi was being held. So there was paparazzi, reporters and everything that all were crowding around the space, so the producers moved him to an identical space where no one would know where he was. It was super far away, it was like 5 hours away, I believe, and this whole time Nasubi thought, oh, I must have won. But it turns out he didn't. They were just moving him to continue the game in a different location. It looks like actual kidnapping, and to a certain extent it is. Talk to Ping people or...
放送されていることを知らないナスビにプロデューサーは
エミカツじゃあ私のためってことですねこれは
身に余る光栄です
The team told Nasubi that he was moved to a new location for renewed luck, so better fortune at a new spot. Because they didn't want to tell him the real reason he got there and
これは椅子と机が当たったってことなのかなこれ社長気分っつうのかな
当選第1号国用のパーソナルデスク&チェア
操作しづらいんですよね爪が邪魔でね爪がこんなになっちゃう
His first win in the new location actually is a fucking fat one. He gets a new desk, a new chair. They're both relatively expensive too, so it's a great victory for him. And he shows his nails. The nail growth is outrageous. He hasn't been able to trim them in about 6 months now. Like, he is genuinely a prisoner here, and it shows.
With this room switch, producers decided to offer a live web stream alternative, causing them to digitally follow Nasubi around with a joystick in order to censor his genitalia. As you can see, the quality of the live stream is primitive, but keep in mind this is in the late 90s.
I couldn't actually find a high-quality clip showing how they censored the live stream or did the live broadcast, so this comes from Atrocity Guide as well. What they did is the producers had a whole team that was dedicated to following Nasubi around with a joystick like they were playing a fucking arcade game with a sensor to keep his dick and balls off the screen. And they live streamed him. They wanted to offer a real-time alternative instead of just doing like the weekly Nasubi update with clips. They wanted 24/7 Nasubi coverage for anyone that wanted to go watch. So this was pretty innovative for its time. I think it's definitely one of the first like actual around-the-clock live streams that ever actually aired. It's pretty impressive.
ウィダーインゼリーが当たってかれこれ2週間当選がない。
ここまでね、当たんないってのはなかなか久しぶりの出来事でね。
車で移動。
What is it? He did?
着いたところは
そっちよ。
まさかあまりの運のなさに見かけたスタッフは当選運の上昇を願い2度目の引っ越しを決めたのだった。
So Nasubi initially had a good string of luck at the new location. I believe, according to Atrocity Guide, he had done 17,000 entries and won decent stuff, but then hit a really bad cold streak, even ran out of food at one point, so the producers did move him again to another location to help him out in winning more prizes, I suppose. And it worked, because he did win more prizes.
ビデオデッキを頭にぶつけ当然の舞。
10ヶ月ぶりにね、トイレットペーパーに触って本当に。
He finally wins food again and really celebrates getting some potato chips, and he also gets a VHS player, which will be nice to go with the TV, assuming he ever wins a VHS tape to play it. But I think the most important thing he wins here is toilet paper. This is the first time he's had toilet paper in his entire stay. 10 months so far. And to celebrate, he tries to take a shit just out of frame, but was unable to. So an unsuccessful mission there, but at least he finally has toilet paper.
それは8ヶ月前のこと。
電車でゴー本当の大好き。
6ヶ月前。
おー、来たよ。とりあえずまずや。電車で Go!
Now this is by far the meatiest win he's gotten so far, a PlayStation. That's pretty expensive, especially during this time period, and it also enables him to have real entertainment for the first time in 10 months. This is like a moment that's straight out of like Civilization, where you climb up the tech tree slowly but surely. 8 months prior to this, he won a PlayStation 1 game, Densha de Go, which also had the special controller to go with it. Couldn't play it, obviously, at the time. 6 months ago, he only got that games now. This is his first game live. Spent days, Twitch could run.
一心不乱で電車で GO に熱中するナスビ。電車で GO 3日目に突入。
プレスでございます。
He played so much Densha de Go that he had to ban himself from playing it further so he could focus on entering into more sweepstakes and getting closer to freedom. So he stopped playing the game, went back to writing entries, and he was able to do it. He pulled off the last remaining prizes he needed to reach that million mark.
一歩間違えてダイヤにしてくれてれば。
So to get a million yen, he has to win a million yen worth.
96万9114円。
The tires put him extremely close to completing the challenge. He was right at the finish line here, so close he could throw the Densha de Go disc right over the finish line. Only a couple more wins would secure this, and he was able to pull it off. The final item he won that put him over the million yen threshold was a bag of rice. But Nasubi didn't know he won. It had been 335 straight days of constant, non-stop, relentless filling out of sweepstakes in order to win these prizes. Finish line.
ゴールを祝いクラッカーで祝福。
100万になったってことですか。11ヶ月と1日前に抜かされた私の服ですね。
Per usual, the producers come in like a group of burglars during the night and start popping party poppers in his face, which scares the shit out of him and really confuses him. They eventually explain that he did win, he made 1 million yen, and they give him his clothes back. It's been 11 months and 1 day, and this is the first time Nasubi's putting clothes on in that entire time frame. So when he puts them on, he says that it's uncomfortable and itchy, but he's very, very, very happy to be done with the contest and glad that he's completed it. But that's not where this story ends. The producers took Nasubi to Korea, telling him it was a celebration for completing the game and for all of his hard work. So they went to an amusement park, he ate a lot of great food, he had a wonderful, incredible time, and then things got real fucked up.
そこは脱いで人は韓国の現象だけで生きていけるか
That's crazy. Dude, no way, they put him back in.
Nasubi was making them far too much money. The producers weren't done suckling from this cash cow's teeth, so they trapped Nasubi in Korea. The goal this time wasn't 1 million yen. This time he was going to have to enter sweepstakes in Korea, which he didn't speak Korean, so he had to use a Korean to Japanese dictionary to translate. His goal was to enter the sweepstakes, win prizes enough to afford a plane ticket from Korea to Japan. That was the objective. He was stripped naked, yet again, and forced to endure the same torture that he had already endured for 335 days prior. I would like to make a mention here. There is a moment where the producer says, if you don't want to do this, just say so. To which Nasubi responds, I'll do it. So I don't think they had ever forced him against his will to complete these challenges, but he was pretty much promised fame after doing these things. So in the pursuit of Nasubi's big dreams, he allowed himself...
こんなにいっぱいということは商品総額が 47,800 円ということはゴール 46,900 円突破
That time around, however, Nasubi went fucking plus ultra, straight up turbo mode. He had become a master at this shit. So he was actually able to complete this challenge in just about 2 months, which made the producers very upset because he didn't suffer long enough. So they increased the challenge duration. They moved the goalpost. Instead of just getting a one-way ticket from Korea to Japan in economy class, they required him to get an additional 9,000 yen in prize winnings to upgrade that ticket to business class.
こんなに頑張ったのにエコノミークラスとはあんまりだ。そこでビジネスクラスにランクアップ。点まであと 9,500 円。頑張れナスビ。
Yeah, more scummy evil shit from the producers here. They've been working. Want.
お茶よ。
4,000円。ということは。
お茶2袋茶よ。
4,000円。ということは。商品総額は 61,800 円。ということ。ファーストクラスにランクアップ。ということは。ゴールの金額もランクアップ。
Nasubi easily gathered the remaining 9,500 yen after winning some expensive tea leaves, so he was absolutely slapping the producers' bottoms, like he was going hog wild right now. So again, they increased a first class ticket, which was an additional gather. He won a live octopus, a big picture frame, and was able to gather enough money through prizes pretty quickly to get that final rank up to first class passenger. So then he finally gets the ticket from Korea to Japan in first class, and it's over.
そしてプロデューサーに連れられたナスビ登場。もちろんアイマスクにヘッドホンナスビは驚くべき行動に出る。別にまだかかる。なんと脱ぎ始めた。
せーの。
But the story wouldn't be complete without one more final act of cruelty towards Nasubi. They blindfold him, put noise-canceling headphones on him, disorient him, and drag him on stage into a mock room designed to look like the rooms that he'd been staying in for the last 15 months. So out of pure instinct, he gets completely nude. He does it and amused because he doesn't understand all around from him having no idea. In the entire show, Susanoo Denpa Shonen was cancelled pretty short. This experience took on Nasubi's clothes for about 6 months afterwards, and his social skills had...
What's his name, Nasubi?
Yeah, Nasubi Blue.
Right now, gushing on Hulu and Disney Plus in select regions is The Hopeful, a modern narrative telling the story of Tomoki Hamatsu, aka Nasubi, an yearning comedian who featured in one of the worlds to begin with Right now, gushing on...
Look up full clip.
Whoa. He is alive now, looking at me, he got aura.
Yo, facts. Bro became a trillionaire. Oh shit.
What, 2 years ago they made a show? Oh, he actually made a documentary about it.
What's it called?
The Contestant.
Is it just a trailer? Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of his live streams. No. It was the late 90s, I remember, because we said it was a live stream.
Yeah, you know that.
Happy Mode.
するとはい、早速行こうか。当たってる。
さあ、何が出てくるのか。なんだこりゃ。
何が当たったんだ。
I don't know what they're saying.
その正体がナスビのため息とともに明らかになる。
How?
And incredibly competitive to boot. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, though. You see, in order to get this level of skill, you need to play these games for hundreds, perhaps even thousands of hours, to absolute perfection. These individuals have to know these games front to back, every inch, every crevice of these games, to get the perfect time. Everything in the kitchen sink, just to shave off those few milliseconds needed to break any kind of record. Think about it for a second. These people need to play these games over and over and over and over and over, all for the sake of getting faster and faster at the game. It needs to become muscle memory. That's enough to drive anyone insane. These speedrunners need to dedicate a good portion of their brain to just remembering these games front to back. In the professional world, we call that autism. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things everyone knows, but no one likes to talk about. A lot of speedrunners are somewhere on the spectrum, and most of these games they speedrun basically become their hyperfixations. I should note, I'm not saying this from the outsider looking in. I'm on the spectrum myself, and I can sniff out my own pretty well. But because of this, speedrunning gives a lot of people who are not the most social, or aren't that good at sports or the recreational activities, an avenue to do something they're finally good at and be lauded for, to get that moment to shine from complete strangers on the internet, to finally be seen for what you can do.
You did what?
World record.
Larry, you got the world record! Oh my god! You got the world record? Oh my face! Oh my god! I knew it was coming! Oh my god!
But this is also a double-edged sword. You know that episode of SpongeBob where he forgets everything to become good at fine dining, but cannot do anything else? That's kind of what happens here a lot. A lot of these individuals do well at what they're good at, but when things go awry and out of their control, it ends up disastrous. If a run goes bad, a lot of speedrunners do not take it well. And that's putting it lightly.
No way! No way! No way! No way!
I don't think Nintendo ever expected years later grown men will be getting this angry at a game made for children.
Happy me, bro.
And it's not just the runs themselves. Some speedrunners cannot take the pressures of the real world as well. Seeing how much drama and controversy there constantly is in the community, it's no wonder. Having your brain dedicate an entire portion of itself to a video game is enough to drive anyone crazy. But I think I've rambled on enough. It's time to get to the meat and potatoes. Now, whether you're into speedrunning or not, there is a good chance you've seen this clip online.
I'm about to take this shot.
So, confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet. But yes, you are correct.
It's called a 99.
This is the infamous Summer Games Done Quick of 2014. Everyone in the speedrunning community has probably seen this.
Why am I bad Tommy? Why am I
this
bad
video,
Tommy?
you seem to have a Reddit user, a Walmart clerk, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo,
Well, we
and
got
Mark
the 99, or
Zuckerberg,
we
all
got
sitting on the couch together.
And then we also got
The
one
main
in
2
the
points of interest here are the two in the middle. One is constantly making corny jokes, while the other is extremely focused on the game.
He doesn't have some top though, but we would never say that in any situation.
That's kind of like talking.
He could pretend he does.
Now, I have no real interest in the man who scanned my Oreos yesterday.
Look at all the bubbles.
The real point of interest here is the guy cracking corny jokes.
Can't shake water.
This is Chibi Necro, also known as
That's
just
nasty.
Chibi. Chibi is a victim to life itself. Chibi wishes to be well known for his speedrunning, but things never go right for him. This clip at Games Done Quick will be his legacy, but that hasn't stopped him from trying. It's not just this clip that he's done. He's made some terrible mistakes, some terrible decisions, and others have never let him forget it. It gets to the point where it just becomes sad. In fact, I would say
No, I gotta work at night
Chibi
tomorrow. It's fine.
is
I'm
the
saying which
world's
one is a good
saddest speedrunner.
The Peach, Cheney's dad likes it, but Cheney and Maddie said, oh, it's bad. But then Maddie's like, I never tried this.
So, confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
Peach. Which one would you rather have warm is the question.
Now, I'm not going to go into some big history lesson on Chibi's life or some true crime shit. None of that matters. All you need to know is Chibi is a speedrunner, and he is autistic. I'm not jumping to conclusions here.
I'm going to try the lemon lime.
His own mother has confirmed, yes, he is on the spectrum.
Julius, I just want you to know something.
It is good. The apples one?
Issues.
Tastes like apple, Snapple apple.
And sometimes he doesn't think clearly, and he makes stupid choices and stupid decisions.
Yes, ma'am.
So basically, he is everything of what I described earlier. Not very good social skills, but he is good at what he hyperfixates on, speedrunning. Or at least, that's what we're led to believe. The only thing of Chibi's early life we have is this video of a young Chibi showing off his dark energy moon collar.
It's pretty much the source of my power. It's the source of my energy. I collect dark energy from the moon, and whenever there's a full moon out,
take a switch, shall we? 1, 2, 3,
it's hard to explain, but that's kind of the way it is.
Jane runs a camp, and you know it's a camp because she bought a dog camp.
So it seems
like
Chibi had an
hot
edgy
Sprite.
phase in his teenage years. Hey, we were all young once. We did stupid shit. But most of us didn't upload to the internet to be permanently itched on there. Chibi speedruns primarily Nintendo games. His favorite ones seem to be from the GameCube era. One of his favorites being Paper Mario. Oh boy, we'll get back to this one. And honestly, as a speedrunner, there isn't too much to know about Chibi. He's not bad, but he's not playing super expert level 99 like a lot of these guys who have these games burned to rent in his house.
Spicy, bro.
He's just alright. He's better than Oliver, I'll say.
I didn't like that.
Really, Chibi was completely unknown to the
why you get scared?
That was until the game's quick.
You're just ready for
Yeah.
like it's an AI video.
Because I wouldn't even blame you if it was from that, bro.
And that's kind of sad,
like,
don't you think? Being known as the I would really prefer if you'd be quiet guy. It's like
wow,
the guy who shot JFK. And really, the whole ordeal should never really happen.
I feel like we needed like a pencil or something.
Apparently, Chibi was never actually supposed to be here. It was his
like any
birthday,
sort of
and he was
item
invited
like
to
that?
couch by Mark Zuckerberg here because he, how nice.
You want a piece of bread?
If you only knew.
Is it what kind
No
of
one
bread?
questioned it or had any issues with him. He didn't know anything about Toma, too, and so he did the only thing he could do.
Not
Crack
like
corny jokes.
Yes. Fast pants.
They make you go fast. Oh yeah, I would hate to actually like have to
saved
put the
my
pants on.
muffin for this.
Should bust some comments.
I mean,
Alright, rip that. Rip safety out. I gotta go.
You wanna see what's downstairs?
I mean, I could always wear the pants.
If you want to see if there's anything cool.
He seemed harmless, but little did they know. This would lead to one of the most infamous moments in Games Done Quick history, right next to the knitting girl.
You guys have noticed that I've been knitting the entire time I've been here? I actually learned how to knit from my grandmother.
Despite nobody being in the actual audience while the speedrun was happening, more people would see this clip than most of GDQ's live streams combined. The most popular clip of this has 8 million views on it. PewDiePie made a video on this, and it has over 10 million views on it. So, almost 20 million people, give or take, have seen this clip over the years. And people seem to be split. They either believe Chibi was too annoying or that Caveman was being too standoffish. I have no say in that matter. That's up for you to decide. After this incident became famous online, it sort of did launch the two into fame. Or should I say, infamy. Chibi did become a semi-famous figure, not only for this, but for others we'll get into in just a bit. Caveman, however, seems to have just fallen off the earth. It's very obvious to me the man wants to keep a low profile and just forget the whole incident ever happened. He looks back on it with annoyance and regret.
From what I understand, his name was Chibi, which is an excellent name for a man. I told him to be quiet because he was a fucker, and I didn't ask for him to be on the couch, and he just invited himself on, and sat shoulder length to me so I couldn't move my elbows, and just would not shut the fuck up. Did anyone see him actually doing those jumping jacks? Like, Jesus Christ, at least do good, proper jumping jacks. I didn't flip him off, I didn't suplex him, I didn't do anything. I just wanted him to leave me alone after the stream. He didn't get it, like, he tried to approach me like 3 more times, like, get out of here, guy, what are you doing? They called Chibi that guy. Chibi was that guy. Am I really a meme? Have I attained meme status?
So, Caveman's importance in this story is over. It's all about Chibi and what he did after this incident, after he got...
I got like hell invested like 2 seconds in
Oh boy, did he do some very, very, very interesting things after the incident.
What, like at the table?
And we're going to talk about those things.
I don't know, there's not
You
really...
want to know what happened to the Games Done
just
Quick
one
guy?
peanut butter and a slice of
Well,
bread.
these other incidents are what happened.
So confirm his number one helper is a squirrel.
But I do want to see
Yeah, you can show up here in a minute. I'll bring my phone just in case.
If you don't know Chibi from the GDQ incident, then you probably know Chibi from this incident. In early 2015, Chibi was speedrunning one of his favorite games, Paper Mario 2000.
I'm not gonna make you make me a peanut butter bread.
Being the classic it is, has a huge speed.
Peanut butter bread? No.
There are people who have combed over this game and dissected it from front to back, looking into every nook and cranny of it to see how it works and what would work in a speedrun. Glitches they could abuse to shave off those few precious seconds to make the times faster and faster. I don't even know how some people know about a lot of this shit. How do they find this stuff out in the first place? Autism sure is a powerful thing. Well, Chibi decided to speedrun it once more to try and beat his personal best time. But from the looks of things in this current run, it wasn't going too well. It didn't look like the run was going to beat his personal best, so he decided to do something risky. He decided he was going to attempt and pull off the double jump glitch. For those who don't know, there is a glitch in Thousand Year Door where after exiting from a battle, for a split second after you leave the battle, you can control the Mario again. If you jump and then, at the exact peak of your jump, let your partner hit an enemy for you, after you exit the battle you can jump again to give yourself a double jump. This can be used to skip huge chunks of the game you're not intended to get to, which Chibi is attempting to do here. Now it should be noted, this glitch needs to be frame perfect in order to work. If you are a millisecond off, it will not work. It is extremely difficult to pull off without the use of a script or bot or whatever. You need to get this in 2 exact frames, one before and after the battle. And Chibi was going to attempt it to save his run. He even got a beat going so we could line it up just right.
Alright, here we are. I like that jump!
And by sheer luck, he got it. He got both of the frame perfect inputs just right. But despite doing this next to impossible feat by yourself, his reaction is just blank. He barely reacts at all. Usually when most speedrunners pull off an incredible feat, their reaction is nothing but pure ecstasy.
Wait! It is it! That is it! Yes! Wait, what? I thought I didn't get it! I thought I didn't get it! I thought it was A2! Anycam Gaming! Oh my god! What?
But Chibi just sits there, staring off into the distance like he's found himself back in the war. So he pulls off an extremely difficult feat and barely has anything to say about it. Something seems off here, and I'm not the only one who felt this way. Remember when I said autism is a powerful thing? Well, it just so happens that one expert on this game, who has dissected the game front to back, was watching a stream while he was doing this. And he immediately knew something was off. He warned Chibi he was going to analyze the footage, and the look on Chibi's face is priceless. The face of many reaction images. The expert, whose name is Tasmalio, went through the footage frame by frame and came to the conclusion that the movements Chibi pulled off did not match up with how the glitch was supposed to go. He lost momentum while performing the first jump, so it wasn't at the peak it was supposed to be at. He confronted Chibi about it, and Chibi confessed. He used a moon jump cheat to make it look like he pulled it off. Chibi cheated. When news got out about this, Chibi was ridiculed. Any speedrunner that gets caught cheating is pretty much shunned for it. Speedrunners are seen as pro-tier gamers who dedicate their lives to these games, and cheating just pretty much ruins all that. Chibi undeniably did something shitty, and people weren't going to let him forget it. Now, I am in no way defending the shitty thing Chibi did here, let me just get that out of the way. But because of what he did, and the fact Chibi isn't good with social cues or how to deal with these situations well, everything else you're going to see in this video is a direct cause of this incident. Because of the heinous nature of this act, this led to a lot of trolling, and I mean a lot of trolling. And Chibi really wasn't doing himself any favors.
When playing games on PC, do you ever wonder if someone had a clip with you in it? Download Meadow, then go to Albums, Clips You're In, and connect to any games you want.
So confirmed, Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
Pizza time.
As a result of the little stunt Chibi pulled, he got dogpiled online for it. I mean, yeah, it was a shitty thing to do, but this led to his personal information getting leaked. Yeah, he got doxxed over it. While I think it was a really awful thing to cheat in a speedrun, nobody deserves to get doxxed over a fucking speedrun. Of course, that's not where it stopped. His phone number and address were out there for the world to see, and the world saw he was living with his mother. I can't really judge the dude for that because I think most speedrunners live with their parents. And it should be noted, Chibi's father passed away around this time, so it's just him and his mom. And because of Chibi's actions online, some good old fans of his just decided to send him some pizzas, some good old Italian cuisines. But one issue is, they forgot to pay, so it looks like Chibi and his mother are going to be the ones to foot the bill. As you can imagine, his mom isn't too happy about free pizza that isn't actually free.
You need to get off of it. 2 people now showed up. Passport Pizza and Breads. You need to shut this down. They see that you're on there. These kids see that you're on there. You're pulling the same shit again.
And they did this for multiple different pizza places. They'd call them, order an assload of pizzas, and expect Chibi's mom to pay up.
Like, as soon as I went live, I guess they started ordering pizzas, and like 2 or 3 pizza places have now tried delivering pizzas to us.
This made both his mom and the pizza places angry. She hopes Chibi can contact the cyber police and get their number taken offline.
So, is there any way you can contact Facebook and tell them to block this bullshit?
No, there isn't.
Well, there's gotta be. There's got to be a way to get on to call Google, Facebook, something, email them, whatever, and tell them that they put your name and phone number on there and you need somehow to block it. We're going to lose our phone number because of this.
But eventually, the trolls got sick of sending pizzas, so it stopped. But one guy decided to take it up a notch. Way up a notch.
Yeah, hi. Are you Adam's mom? Yes, I am. Yes, ma'am. I had some information I wanted to show you that your son has posted pictures of his pickup online, and he admitted to sending them to a 17-year-old girl.
Our guy Chibi is also on a quest for love and affection. I mean, who isn't? But our man Chibi decided it would be a smart idea to post pictures of himself naked on the internet. These were not leaked. These were posted by him for the world to see. Now, I'm not going to show these for very obvious reasons, because I don't want to see Chibi's chubby, and neither do you. One troll decided to use these and use the troll him and his mother, and things get taken up to 11 extremely fast.
And he posted the pictures of his Johnson online. This is Jonathan.
Yeah, imagine someone calling you and telling you your child is doing that. I feel really bad for Chibi himself. It's just a sad case, but Jesus, I feel even worse for his mother because we put up with all this shit. She gets completely fed up with this. And she lets him and his entire chat
fans of this stream, they found out he cheated on this like insane glitch, and then they found his phone number and address, and they kept ordering pizzas to his house, and his mom's freaking out. And then
don't care about anything.
There's a picture of him naked online, and then they started telling his mom that there's pictures of his penis online.
No, I'm not being on her right
It's a
now.
weekend or not, it doesn't matter. Every day runs together for you.
No, actually it doesn't.
Dad made me promise.
Hello,
told me to make sure this wasn't happening all hours of the night.
Yeah,
It
it's.
is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. 3 o'clock in the morning is all hours of the night.
Yeah, wow. I'm not gonna lie. This video is 9 minutes long, and it is extremely difficult to get through. The amount of distress his mom has gone through, and him just not being able to dislocate himself from the game enough to have an actual conversation with her, and all this happening while he was streaming to people, this is the literal definition of cringe. Like, have some sympathy for his mother. Getting pizza sent to your house, having people call you and tell your son is allegedly doing illegal acts, and on top of all of that, you can't even get a good night's sleep because your son is up at 3 in the morning speedrunning Paper Mario, and all you hear all night is... Even though he cheated on a speedrun, this is a bit much, don't you think? The depression in his mother's voice.
There's also
She doesn't
satisfying
put
shit
up
to
with
watch.
this shit. Chibi doesn't either.
And I would like watch the guy in the face cam,
You promised me things were going to be different around here.
and then when he would fuck up on the game.
You're the one making a big deal at 3 a.m.
I'm like, this is so He speedrunning
Chibi at one point tried to do something good, and the trolls got a hold of it. Speaking of which...
Speaking of which anime bunch! Speaking of which anime bunch.
So confirmed, Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm going a bit out of order here, and this one's pretty short, but this is very similar to the phone call trolling, so I thought I might as well bring this up. In early 2016, Chibi held a fundraiser for the Easter Seals. You know, it seems like an actual good cause. He had special guests and everything to help raise money for this fundraiser. So it seems like Chibi is actually doing something good. But there was just one mistake. One fatal mistake. One of the people who was helping organize the event, I don't know who it was, and I don't think they've ever come out, but they accidentally showed the service password on another stream. And because of this mistake, others were able to get a hold of the server. And once they got a hold of the server, the stream was hijacked and it was DDoSed multiple times. Chibi and his guests tried to damage control, but then eventually the trolls started hacking the stream and showing scenes of, well, very explicit acts of some individuals.
Boy, Shane out here. Who the fuck we posted out here?
I'm not gonna go into details yet again, but let's just say, if you were Fujoshi, you were having a field day on this stream. So while the stream was going on, it kept getting replaced with the outtakes of Brokeback Mountain. And no matter what Chibi or anybody else did, it kept happening.
I just beat the Golden right now! Holy... Right now! Right fucking now, Lucas! Right fucking now! I just beat the Golden right now!
Maybe.
Right now! Right
Please
fucking
continue.
now, Lucas! Right! I just beat the Golden right now!
Oh yeah.
So eventually, everything got shut down. From what I've heard, the fundraiser still managed to raise like $2,000 before everything went to shit. So they at least accomplished something. But really, this was a disaster. Through and through. Chibi has basically just become a target for easy trolling for no real reason at this point.
Am I right, dude?
It is easy to get a reaction out of him. But if this is still a result of the cheating in Paper Mario, then this is just a little too far. This was a fundraiser for a charity, and it was completely ruined. But I'll be honest, even if this was a shitty thing to happen, it's still hilarious to me. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. So yeah, Chibi is still getting trolled even almost a full year later, because he's apparently just an easy target around. But to be honest, sometimes he does bring it upon himself.
So, confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
On July 11th, 2015, the current president of Nintendo since 2002, Satoru Iwata, had passed away at 55 years old due to a tumor on his bile duct. It was a dark day for Nintendo fans and the gaming industry in general. Many people in the gaming industry, many fans of Nintendo, left their condolences and thoughts and prayers for him and his family. Many a Nintendo fan made tribute to artists for Iwata for giving them so many years of joy. I was included in that. If I recall correctly, I wrote a shitty poem on a dead gaming forum nobody will ever find. I was 16, I was full of raging hormones, and had no personality but liking Nintendo. So I know what this felt like. Chibi was included in that laundry list of Nintendo fans who were wrecked by Iwata's passing. So he too decided to pay his condolences. But instead of talking about it or streaming a game he worked on in his honor, Chibi decided to do something different. Despite being only a few days away, Chibi decided that Iwata's funeral was too far off. So he was going to host a funeral for Iwata on his own Twitch channel for hundreds of people. As you can imagine, this is a very bad idea. Let's watch it. This is already off to a great start.
Today, we as the gaming community have suffered a great loss. Satoru Iwata, Nintendo's president, has passed away. The date of death was July 11, 2015.
No way. Did you hear that?
The date of death was July 11, 2015.
It's happened on my birthday, bro.
Oh shit. The date of death was July 11, 2015.
2015. So that means I was turning 8 years old. Bro, he made a funeral for the guy that made
July 13th.
That is crazy.
His inspiration and wisdom spanned many generations
and he put on a
worth
suit
of gaming
too,
innovation, and was a pioneer when it came to new ideas and creative technology. Starting as a game developer for HAL Laboratory after being admitted to and graduating college, he helped breathe life into such classics as Kirby's Dream Land, Balloon Fight, and the widely renowned Earthbound version of the 2000s. This is
Despite the fact he set this stream up for a man he's never met and probably didn't even know he even existed, I don't really see what's so cringy about this. Yeah, the writing's a little corny, but it's not that bad.
The legacy he left will still resonate with us for generations. And even though he was never with us when he spoke to our hearts.
Hungry Root is here.
And I needed it because my fridge is super empty.
I'm gonna open the box. That's the exciting part.
Hungry Root came through.
Earthbound?
Wait. Oh, you're gonna what?
Fortnite.
Wait. Hold the fuck up. Hold up. Nobody say anything about any fucking singing now. Cool your jet, Celine Dion. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Please, for the love of God, don't sing. Please don't.
I believe the morning sun.
Oh, God!
Always gonna shine again.
Bro, this makes me feel bad, bro.
About to be another funeral real soon!
I believe in skies forever blue. Why should it not be the same in you?
Comment.
I didn't even know there was no
tear in a man's eye. Yeah, this is
play the Binding of Isaac on that laptop.
Take a lot of. You didn't have to fucking sing
on Linux.
So confirmed, Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
Motion your tears. Only tear 1 million.
After all this has happened, we come to the conclusion of our tale of Chibi. This is a man whose entire career had been kick-started because he sat on the couch, told some corny jokes, and got told to shut up. This caused more eyes to get put on him. A pair of those eyes caught him cheating in a speed run, which then caused
here and I just had to kiss him. Like, that's so mean.
I'm good.
Okay. This no stream.
Alright, come on!
Okay.
If I was watching a hostage video where...
Alright, come on!
Okay.
What the hell? Why'd she do that?
If I was watching a hostage video where someone had kidnapped my grandmother, threatening to slit her throat unless I paid the ransom, I would honestly find that video to be less cruel and more humane than this Twitch stream I just watched. This is absolutely brutal. My heart breaks for this guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he's done to deserve this, but this is like a divine punishment here. This whole thing was her idea. This was her donation incentive. And now she's acting like it was the worst thing that ever happened to her. It's so bad, she's got to go rinse her mouth out. She's got to fucking brush her teeth and scrub it all down with soap and bleach just to try and erase the stain that his lips put upon hers. It's just evil. This whole stream is her basically just bullying this guy.
Well... Jesus Christ, well... Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm back, guys. Sorry. I'm good. I'm good.
She's putting on this big song and dance about how gross and disgusting this was, when it was her idea. She's doing this just to make him feel even worse, and put on a show for her chat at this guy's expense. Like, oh, this loveless loser virgin flew all the way here, and I just had to kiss him. Like, that's so mean. And this should be a wake-up call to her chat that, like, donates money to her under this idea that she's going to like them or something like that, or parasocially donating to her because they think that they're going to be friends or even more than that. This should be the biggest wake-up call. Your third eye should be fucking beaming from your forehead right now with this out there. This is her mod, someone who literally, like, does a ton for her. And this is how he's getting treated in front of everybody. Viral plays and got really
What the hell? That's all these anime bro.
Here?
Yeah. It's my dream, y'all.
Yeah, I've been posting pictures of Dilly every single day on Discord, and this guy cannot hang. Dilly's eyes are fucked. It's because I have cats and he's allergic, and he has allergy meds. Doesn't he look like Gru from Despicable Me? But every time I see Dilly, I just start laughing.
This is the very beginning of the stream. This is chapter 1 that even make quickly guy weird. There a cat, but because actually more clean. Put different he's like this.
I'm not dating. I did not claim this. Sorry, that's so mean. But don't claim it. So yeah, 1 hour stream. So every minute counts. I made a donation goal, $500. I will kiss Dilly. So we hit it, But hopefully, I will be drunk for that. Let's take the first shot of the night, yeah? Is it too early?
No. Cheers.
The way she responded to the cute couple statement seemed like she was genuinely offended anyone would even say something like that. Now the train...
Oh my god, his chunky throat pants in the trash. Dilly had the same size hands. Oh my god, you have baby hands.
Wow.
Yeah, we have the same size hands. That means you're a small dick.
The astute observers out there will have noticed that I put the stream to 2 times speed during her life. Even spin stream that and people that goes and from this
X or get for 6 months. Fuck. Okay, so in case you guys know or don't know, I don't want to say his name out loud. This ex fucking traumatized me. Get a gambling addiction, drug addiction, porn addiction, and he actually fucked me up. Okay, so either go through trauma and emotional abuse, or date Dilly for 6 months. Trying to get back to my ex.
Where critical is like.
Is it true?
It's in 2 times speed because again she was going on a. Would you rather be
and get so many fans for it.
in front of his teams by and rather this guy take public. He very the next friend.
Not hit. So yeah, there is a right or wrong answer. Well, me personally, how would you rate me first?
10 out of 10.
Oh, fuck, you know how I'm gonna rate. I'm just gonna drink.
That means I'm a 6. It's okay.
A 6.
If it was a 6, I would have said that out loud. Anyways.
Again, it's just an absolute flurry of disrespect from her.
Wow.
Rick is like, he's trying to being fine, guys. This and the and Edley.
Is it for him to pick up a girl tonight?
Honestly?
Honestly, you're not getting shit. I think maybe a girl would be down to dance with you, you know? But there's no way, I don't think you're getting any girl's numbers. Or going home with, I'm gonna say it's a 0 out of 10.
You ain't even like a touch of.
I would let you. I'm a good friend. So if you wanna bring a girl back here, you can. But I'm just being honest, I don't see it. Prove me wrong though, you know, prove me wrong.
I was perfectly content. That was a good mentality to hate.
That's so mean.
Your mod. Next question. Do you ever have any feelings for any of your mods, including him? Hell no. That's why they're my mods.
Last clip from this stream, I promise, but I thought this was an important one. I have for a long time preached about how awful parasocial relationships are and how modding does as really less into me here. Downright meanest and saddest streams I've ever seen.
Peter Piper used the smart buying tools from Amazon Business and positively prospered.
Not true.
At Black Bear, we stick to one rule. Keep it simple.
Yeah. That look good.
We only use premium cuts of pork and...
In 2010, Terry Crews called his wife from a hotel room in New York and told her something he'd been hiding for 20 years. She told him not to come home. Most people who know Terry Crews know the public version. White chicks,
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces fast, and I'm homebound.
the Old Spice ads,
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face.
Goodbye.
Oh no! I
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
One drink and then we go. One drink?
He built a reputation as the man who turns up to every room at full volume and leaves everyone smiling. Over time, he became one of the most recognizable and most beloved performers in the world. But the man behind that image was living a completely different life. He had an addiction that had been running since childhood, quietly destroying the most important relationship in his life. A rage so deep and unresolved that it nearly landed him behind bars. And secrets he was absolutely convinced he would take to his grave. It took losing the one person who'd stood by him through all of it before he was finally willing to face any of it. This is the story of how Terry Crews built one of the most beloved public images in Hollywood while living a double life. Terry Crews was born on July 30th, 1968, in Flint, Michigan, a city that, as Terry has described it, was the Palo Alto of its era. General Motors was founded there, the most successful corporation in the world at the time, and the whole city was built around it. Money was flowing, homes were being built, and if you had a job at the plant, you had a life. His father, Terry Sr., had come up from Edison, Georgia, a town of less than 300 people. The man who came I love.
Looked at me like I had an eye in the middle of my forehead. And I remember, he was still drunk. And I remember kissing him on the cheek, and I was just waiting for this, like, I love you, son. I was like, I love you, Dad. But he looked at me like, and I said, I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again.
Terry's mother, Patricia, was a different kind of force entirely. She was deeply religious, Church of God in Christ, what people called the Holy Rollers. The family was in church 6 days out of 7. Terry wasn't allowed to listen to secular music, watch movies, dance, or play sports. Ironically, pretty much everything he ended up doing for a living. Because his mother's faith condemned his father's habits, the two of them were constantly at war. Terry Sr. would come home drunk every night, she'd challenge him on it, and the whole house would pay for it.
There was not a peaceful night. You know, I would wake up to screaming, wake up to glass breaking, shouting.
It was no environment for children to be raised in, but because of his mother's faith, divorce wasn't an option. Terry wet the bed until he was 14 years old, not from any physical ailment, but from being in a constant state of fear and panic. But perhaps the worst feeling of all was the overwhelming sense of helplessness. His father was a large man, and Terry was terrified of him. And despite wanting more than anything to protect his mother, he knew he couldn't stand up to his father.
Did you ever try and intervene when your parents were having conflict? Did you ever try and intervene at a young age?
He was too big. I mean, it was one of those things where I felt helpless. I just always felt tiny. I remember just looking at his hands, and he had big, giant, calloused hands. And the way he'd walk around the house, you just hear boom, boom, boom. It was like, man, this man could rip me apart.
This reality birthed two things in Terry that made back in root addition. He'd been doing to kids. Constantly watching women being objectified made him believe he was above her in the relationship.
I believed that I was more valuable than my wife as a human being because I was a man. And when you believe that you are more valuable than another person, you kind of feel like they owe you. And if they don't do what you tell them, then, you know, you're not good enough.
Terry would start arguments to stop her asking questions, because one lie had turned into 10, and 10 had turned into 100. But the addiction wasn't the only thing he was hiding. In 2000, the year before Terry appeared in Training Day, he landed a small role in The Sixth Day, an Arnold Schwarzenegger sci-fi film that took him to Vancouver. It was a tiny part, but what happened in Vancouver is something he carried for the next 10 years.
I had went to a massage parlor and got a hand job and cheated on her. And man, I vowed that I would never tell a soul. When I crossed that line, I couldn't believe I did that. And I knew, I said, I'm gonna go to my grave with this.
That same year, Terry and Rebecca took the girls back to Flint for Christmas. He asked his father to keep his composure in front of the grandchildren. No drinking, no scenes, and Terry Sr.
Sam was born ready. Careful, Sam. To crush grime off.
Agreed. One evening, Terry and Rebecca left the kids with his parents and went out to dinner. An hour later, his sister-in-law called.
I get a phone call. It's Terry, your father hit your mom. And I'm sitting there, wait a minute. I just had this conversation. Man. What are you doing? I got on the phone, I said, okay, get everybody out the house. Get everybody out the house. I'm a grown-ass man now. Now I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not 5 anymore. I already know what's up. Get everybody out the house. Take them over to our aunt's house. I said, my brother was in town. I said, man, I called him up. I said, we going to get him tonight. We get to the house. First of all, I told my mom to go. He knocked her tooth sideways. I'm sitting there looking at her face. Her tooth is sideways. It's okay, Mom. Go over to Aunt's house. He's sitting in the bedroom, like, ain't nothing happened. I said, so what's going on? Nothing. I said, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you not to act up? Didn't I tell you? CT. Bam! Grown-ass man now. I hit him.
He's looking at him scared as shit, bro.
Then my brother came in. Bam! We beat his ass.
This was the moment Terry had been building his body for since he was 13 years old. The reason he'd spent years in the gym and built all that muscle. He'd imagined this moment his entire childhood, how satisfying it would feel. But when it was finally over, he felt nothing. No sense of relief, just hollowness. After this, he didn't go back to Flint for over a decade. The rage didn't go away. It just found new places to land. In 2004, when Terry was filming The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler and Chris Rock, at the rap party in Pasadena, a group of drunk men approached Terry and Rebecca, who was pregnant with their son at the time. One of them slapped Rebecca on the arm, and that was all it took.
These guys came, they were drunk, and they were like, "Hey man, it's that dude, man, it's that dude from Friday, yo, hey, let me get your autograph, man." And I'm like, "Oh boy, okay." I said, "You have a pen?" Now my wife is pregnant with my son at the time, so he slaps my wife on the arm. "Hey, you ain't got no pen and shit." That's all he had to do. I picked him up, put him on his head. His friends saw that. They were like, "Ah," and I started stomping this guy. Like, I didn't stop. And I wasn't gonna stop. My wife was like, "Stop! She's screaming.
By the time it was over, the police had arrived with their hands on their guns. A witness stepped in and vouched for Terry. Without that, he'd have been arrested, and everything he'd built would have been gone overnight. But it didn't fix anything. The rage and the addiction were still there. Two outlets for the same pain he'd been carrying since Flint. Yet the more successful he became, the more people around him insisted everything was fine. Through the real peak of his career, white chicks, everybody hates Chris, Terry was still hiding all of it. Rebecca could feel something was wrong. She just couldn't name it. By 2010, they had been married for over 20 years. Terry had spent every one of them lying to her face and blaming her for not believing him. And then one night, on the phone from New York, she asked him a question he couldn't answer his way out of.
My wife hit me with the question. She said, "What is it I don't know about you, Terry Crews?" Whoa. Ray, I don't know what happened, man. I said, I'm tired. I can't hide this anymore. And I said, "You know, I went to a massage parlor, got a hand job, and that's one thing you don't know about."
Rebecca's reaction was immediate. She told him she was done and that she didn't know who he was. She told him not to come home.
She was like, "I'm gone. That's it. I'm out." And I was like, "Fine, leave." "Great. Thank you. Now we know." Because I was still blaming her. I was like, "So you're not going to stick with me? Cool. You know what? I'm Terry Crews." I'm like, "I'll get another one just like that."
He sat alone in that hotel room, running through every excuse he had. His upbringing, his sex drive, the comparisons to other men in Hollywood who did far worse. And then something shifted. A small voice cut through all of it. He'd been living a double life, and the cheating was just a symptom. The real problem had been there since he was 9 years old. He needed to come clean, not just for Rebecca, but for himself. So he told her everything. After learning what he'd been hiding for all those years, Rebecca left, and losing her, the woman who'd stood by him
On October 25, 1997, Chris Farley is found in an essay.
And then something shifted.
And I remember, he was still drunk. And I remember kissing him on the cheek, and I was just waiting for this, like...
On October 25, 1997, Chris Farley... Less than 4 years after Animal House's release, its star John Belushi will die of an overdose of cocaine and heroin, aged just 33. But Belushi is exactly the kind of comedian Farley can relate to. At times, Belushi turns comedy into a kind of full-contact sport. And Farley, with his own athletic background, gets it. At 23, Chris joins the Second City, Chicago's famous improv theater, and with a character you might recognize.
My name is Matt Foley, and I'm a motivational speaker.
He has a stage presence the audience loves.
Let me give you a little bit of a scenario of what my life is.
With the other comics, Farley's openness to embarrassing himself helps him make friends.
He said, "Would you like to see my impression?"
He has some good news to share. He's received an offer for a dramatic role that will finally humanize him, exploring the troubled comedian Fatty Arbuckle.
He's crying, but there's this movie that David Mamet wrote about Fatty Arbuckle, and he wants me to play the lead. It's very important that I do it. I won't be the clown anymore. I get to play a dramatic role.
This offer, however, is contingent on Chris staying sober in the 2 years before its production, and
that was his big fear. He was like, I can't do it. I can't stay sober for 2 years.
So the next day, Tuesday, Chris starts his morning with vodka and weed at 8:25 a.m. He enlists the services of a call girl. Then, 19 hours later, around 3:30 a.m. on Wednesday, he calls another escort, Heidi Hauser, and asks her to join him clubbing.
How long have you been up? He said maybe 3 or 4 days. I don't even think he knew how long he'd been up.
When Heidi asks him about how much coke he's been doing, Chris...
He'd say, I love this stuff, you know? He wanted to just go all out. And he said it was his last night partying. He's got a movie coming up. They told me you're not supposed to do that much. And he's like, I would just look at him like, stop, slow down, you know?
From the club, Chris and Heidi return to Heidi's apartment. Then, after spending the day with Heidi, Chris calls a limo to take them to his place at John Hancock Center, where Chris starts to behave strangely. He yells aggressively and pounds his chest.
Slapping himself, and I kept saying, stop. Why are you doing that? He said, it's the heroin, it makes me act goofy. I couldn't do Saturday Night Live without it.
Only through Monday, save
No way he's on heroin on Saturday Night Live.
Flanagan's 4th of July Super Weekend Sale.
That is weird.
Later, doctors will posit that it might be the cocaine behind the chest pounding, as cocaine
can cause the arteries around the heart to spasm, causing severe chest pain and potentially cardiac arrest.
But to Heidi, Chris pounding his chest looks more like a concerning quirk and not a medical emergency. So when Chris's 24 hours are up at around 3 a.m. on Thursday morning, Heidi asks to be paid for her time. She goes to leave, but on the way out, Chris tries to change her mind. He says to her the last words he'll ever speak.
He says, don't leave me, don't leave me, don't leave me.
Chris then falls asleep, and Heidi takes this photo of him, thinking it would be funny to show it to him later, after which she leaves.
I left him when he was sleeping. I left him a note.
Later that morning, Chris's brother finds him laying in the entryway of his apartment. John Farley then calls the Chicago police, who find a foil packet containing a white powder under Chris's body. The night he died, Chris was using cocaine, but the toxicology report reveals he also had morphine in his blood, a byproduct of his other drug.
I was asking him about his love life, and he said, oh, he had a girl, and he said, she lifts me up when I'm sad. She's always there. She's my loyal companion, and she'll never betray me. I said, well, what's your girlfriend's name? And he looked deep at me and said, heroin.
Chris Farley died of a combination of heroin and cocaine, the same that killed John Belushi. And just like Belushi, Chris was only 33 years old.
And that feeling of inevitability was the worst part of it all. Like, this goddamn story is just gonna play out, and even Chris could have told you, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna die. And I'm gonna be 30, by the way, 33 when Belushi died, same age. Like, what the fuck?
At Farley's funeral, Adam Sandler and Chris Rock make speeches. And when all is done, Chris's dad stood up, just this big bear of a man. And he reached around, and he hugged the casket, and he wouldn't let it go. Chris always wanted to please his dad, and by the end, he had.
Our good friend, Chris Farley. Come here.
Like he pleased everyone.
It goes way too quick. When you're here, was it alright though? Was it alright? Yeah, it was great. Man, Kyle, you're the fucking greatest, man. Was it alright? That was alright? Oh, Chris, come on. You were super.
Despite Chris's insecurity about himself, he
really cared about everyone else, wanting to make everyone else happy.
Everybody who saw him perform got a little piece of his soul.
The guy was like, hey, and you were like, huh? And the cop was like, and the waiter was like, hey.
Everybody got a piece of his soul, like right away, like within 20 seconds of seeing him. You just saw this guy's heart held out.
There's an Art Deco interior, and the international cuisine
That sounds like a lot of fun.
And that's what I'm singing about. I'm singing about my boy Chris Farley. And if we make enough noise, maybe he'll hear us. Give it up for the great Chris Farley.
Good job.
If you enjoyed this, I think you'll love my
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking.
Neo-Nazi meets Holocaust survivor. Why the hell would you put those two in a room?
Yeah, what the...
And the director uses real bullets.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. Wait, should play that.
This is Alexei Kravchenko. He's 14 years old, and he's also not an actor.
This
is his first time on a film set. And this is not CGI. These are real bullets that are flying above his head. And these are real explosions that they're running from. And this is not a film set. They're swimming through an actual marsh with real deadly parasites. This is a film unlike anything you've ever seen. Spielberg reportedly screened it before the making of Schindler's List, and Tarantino described it as the greatest World War II movie ever made. And what's even more insane is the story of how they made it. Very few people wanted this film to exist. It took nearly a decade and a very, very specific moment in history. This is Come and See. Chapter 1. The Brutality of War.
This movie was crazy.
Belarus. It's 1943. This innocent boy has just found something that will change his life forever. His name is Floria, and he's just dug up a weapon from a dead soldier. Little does he know, he's about to witness some of the most horrific things ever done to humanity. We follow him as he goes from extremely eager to join the war, to being harshly affected by it, and finally having the strong will to end it. The film then builds to a systematic massacre of an entire village. Civilians are herded into a barn based off of actual accounts. The doors are barred and the building is set on fire. And quite famously, the film includes these direct shots into the actor's face, where there's no escape from their misery. But Come and See is not like other war films. We don't follow a superheroic soldier or see any of the famous battles. Instead, the film takes place within villages and families and children. And the film does not revolve around heroics, but the idea of human suffering. Single time. Everything in this movie brings you to full immersion in a way that modern cinema hasn't been able to quite replicate. And the story of how they made the film is just as interesting, if not more interesting, as the film itself. Chapter 2. The Three Forces and Pre-Production. There are three people that contributed most to this film that I think we should go over. 90 was filmmaker. Shrapnel make anything incredible happened. To a barn. The occupation villages met the same from how one, which became survivor testimonies for Come and See. Several directors were pitched to adapt the stories. Abramovich and Klimov's clear vision. The film remained censored for years until 1985, when the 40th anniversary of Victory Day finally gave them the opening they needed. They had the green light, but they still needed one more piece: the boy. Alexei Kravchenko was not an actor. In fact, he didn't care about the film world at all. He had only showed up to the audition to support his friend, who wanted the lead role. Kravchenko went along for moral support, nothing more. And it turns out he ended up being chosen. To prepare Kravchenko for the role, Klimov put him on a strict hunger diet. For days at a time, the 14-year-old would only drink water and run long distances to lose weight. Klimov was also deeply concerned about the potential psychological toll the film would take on the lead. To protect Kravchenko, Klimov brought in a psychotherapist trained in hypnosis. The plan was to hypnotize Kravchenko during the most violent scenes so they wouldn't traumatize them. But after testing, they discovered that Kravchenko was not susceptible to hypnosis. Kravchenko would later describe the shoot as the happy recollections of my childhood. After the film wrapped, Kravchenko did not act again for another 13 years. Chapter 3. Making Hell on Earth. From the very start, Klimov had one guiding principle: tell the truth. Klimov's goal was to capture as built Even if Viktor Petrov initially wasn't satisfied, that would shock everyone. To use real explosives and live ammunition, this created an atmosphere of real terror among the actors. In one scene, Kravchenko and a cow were placed in the middle of a field while live rounds were fired around them. Kravchenko was so terrified that he found himself clinging to Klimov after, asking, "Is there anything else?" Klimov told him to go back into the scene.
Oh my god.
The entirety of the film was shot on location in Belarus. Everything was real. Even the extras, the villagers, were real survivors or descendants of survivors from the Belarusian fire villages. To prepare the villagers, Ales Adamovich gathered them in a circle and read chapters from his book. He recounted the testimonies of those who had survived the horrors of war. Many of the villagers had heard stories from their parents or grandparents every cell for the chapter 4, Truth. And yet, despite all this gore and destruction that this movie depicts, photographer of all time, and he's labeled "Come and See" as mandatory viewing.
Conrad O used to say he was really trying to create beauty with ugliness. You know, he wanted to make ugly films that were beautiful, which seems a total contradiction. But you know, how do you film something that is so
For fuck's sake, cut!
This is the first true AI production.
No way,
platform.
that looked real.
Total control.
I simply am not there. He was interested in American Psycho. Leo wanted to do it.
I never wanted to cast DiCaprio, and that's why I was fired.
Nobody knew who Christian Bale was then.
If you get this character wrong, it could be really
I
bad.
think it was going to be career suicide.
But now see that. Leonardo DiCaprio, star of the movie, had Lionsgate offer him put over $35 million.
Nobody wanted me for that role.
That's the stupidest idea I ever heard.
The studio fired Christian Bale.
It was turning on its head all of the basic rules of acting.
Oh, they didn't see eye to eye on it, and then it was over.
Yeah, you can't go play Patrick Bateman. And I was like, bring it on. No, I want Christian.
It was the biggest gamble I ever did.
No, I'm still making the film. But I went a little bit psycho myself.
One of the most controversial and shocking books to be published for many years, American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis, it's been called a how-to novel on the torture and dismemberment of women.
They seem to...
Gay man's satire on masculinity.
In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches.
Him being gay allowed him to see the kind of homoerotic rituals among these kind of alpha males.
In the shower, I use a water-activated gel cleanser, then a honey almond body scrub.
When I first went and auditioned, I just went to her apartment and it was just her with a little camera. And I didn't approach it like she said the other actors had, where they were talking about what's his childhood, what's the reason he's become this. I was like, none of that really matters.
There is an idea of a Patrick Bateman.
It's just like this alien.
Some kind of abstraction.
And Christian was the one who thought that he was absurd and ridiculous, which is how I saw it.
As we were doing the scene, I started laughing and she started cracking up, and we both realized we had the same very sick sense of humor, and we were like, oh yeah, all right, this will work between us.
I really, really wanted him to play Eddie Oscar. And 15
Get him on the script, somebody's got
But this
movie, Oscar.
Parent to personally five or even impertinent, actually willing to turn.
Do you have something to watch films on?
Huh?
You have something to watch films on?
You can stop the stream real quick.